So today, we're going to unpack some of the most practical wisdom out there, the teachings of the Buddha. But look, we're not treating this as a religion. Instead, we're looking at it as a kind of user's manual, a timeless guide for finding a bit more calm and clarity in our kind of crazy modern lives.
You know that feeling, right? Like you're just completely overwhelmed, maybe a little lost, just trying to keep your head above water with everything life's throwing at you. It really can feel like you're just reacting to things, bouncing from one crisis to the next without any real direction. Well, what if I told you that thousands of years ago, someone basically drew up a map, and it's not a map to some physical place, it's a map to a state of mind, a way to find real, genuine inner peace no matter who you are or what your starting point is.
Okay, so let's get right into it. First, we have to understand our guide. This wasn't a god, but a person, Siddhartha Gautama. He later became known as the Buddha, which just means the awakened one. He was just somebody who woke up, who saw how things really are, and wanted to share that roadmap with everyone else.
And this is so important to get. These teachings aren't about a strict set of beliefs you have to adopt. It's a practical way of living, of thinking, of acting that's open to literally anyone. It doesn't matter what you believe or where you come from.
All right, so if we have a map, we got to learn how to read the thing. And the key, the legend on the side that explains all the symbols, that's something called the Four Noble Truths. This is the absolute foundation for everything that follows.
It all starts with a really simple but deep observation. Life includes what's called dukkha, or suffering. And we're not just talking about big tragedies here. This is also that everyday friction, the stress, the disappointment, that constant low-level anxiety. But then the second truth says, hey, this feeling has a cause. And the third, and this is the real game changer, says it can actually end. And finally, the fourth truth tells us there's a path to do just that.
So what's the cause? The Source nails it down to one thing, tanha. It means craving or clinging. It's that constant desire we all have for things to be different than they are. We want pleasure to last forever. We want to be in control. We want everything good to stay exactly the same, when really nothing ever does. That constant grasping, that's the root of our dissatisfaction.
Okay, so if we know the problem is all this craving, what's the fix? Well, that brings us to the path itself, the Noble Eightfold Path. You can think of this part as the actual turn-by-turn directions on our map guiding us out of that state of suffering and into freedom. Now, this path is just so brilliant because it's a whole system for living. It's broken down into three parts. First, you've got wisdom. That's all about learning to see the world clearly, just as it is, not how we wish it was. Then there's ethical conduct. This is about making sure our words, our actions, even how we make a living, are all in line with not causing harm. This helps us dial down that tanha, that craving we were just talking about. And finally, you have mental discipline. This is the inner workout, training our minds to be focused and aware. All three have to work together.
So we have our map, we have our directions. Now let's talk about the gear you need for the journey. These are the essential mindsets, the tools that are going to help us actually walk the path. They're what really power the whole thing.
The first and maybe most important piece of gear is a deep, gut-level understanding of anicca, or impermanence. It's just the universal law that nothing lasts. Not the good times, not the bad times, not our feelings, nothing. Everything is always in flux. And when you really, truly get that, you stop fighting against change. You can enjoy the good moments without clinging to them, and you can face the tough stuff, knowing that it too will pass.
This journey isn't just about what's happening inside our own heads. It's also about how we show up in the world. That means we have to actively cultivate things like metta, which is basically loving kindness, and karuna, which is compassion in action. The third mindset, upeksha, or non-attachment, is what brings balance to it all. So let's zoom in on that one for a second.
Okay, so non-attachment, or upeksha, gets misunderstood all the time. It does not mean being cold or checked out or indifferent. It means freedom. It's the wisdom to jump into life, to love deeply, but to let go of that need to control how everything turns out. It's about letting life and the people in it just be who and what they are.
This quote from the source material just says it all, doesn't it? The path isn't asking you to close your heart. It's asking you to free your love from the prison of clinging and expectation. It's a huge shift from, I need you to make me happy, to simply, I wish you well, period.
So, all of this, it can feel pretty big, right? Like some grand spiritual quest. But here's the most profound part. This whole journey doesn't start with some giant leap. It starts right here, right now. It starts with just one single mindful breath, one kind thought for someone, one choice to just pause instead of reacting. The entire path to peace is built out of these tiny, single steps, taken over and over and over again.
This is really what it all boils down to. It's simple, practical advice you can use. Be kind. Be aware. Let go. When we practice this, that feeling from the beginning of being lost, overwhelmed, without a map, it just starts to lose its grip. We start to find our own way. So the whole point we're ending on is that this isn't just some interesting theory. It's a practice. The map is officially in your hands. So I'll just leave you with this one question to chew on. What's the one small, mindful action you're going to take today to start your own journey?